Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening and welcome to James Parfitt Broadcasting and Evolution Sim Racing for Season 2 of a fantastic league that we've got here. It is Stephen Karabelas on the mic with the one and only Dean Biggles this evening. We're looking forward to some fantastic racing here at the Styrian Grand Prix, Austria in Spielberg in the mountains. Absolutely beautiful track, beautiful surroundings in the mountains of Austria. And we're going to get things underway very quickly here because we are a little bit delayed. We apologise for that. We've had some technical issues and we need to get through the qualifying standings very quickly before we get into the first race. We'll go through some more details of the season and how it falls as we get some time in the warm-ups. But yeah, at the moment, we're just going to talk a little bit about the track. It says 10 corners, 7 to the right, 3 to the left. The track was built in 1969, but we shall go immediately through into the results of qualifying. We've had some very quick times being posted in the meantime. We've got Paul Cowlishaw on pole position with a fantastic quali from him with a 129.3. Remember him, of course, from last season, a front runner. We've got Rhys Saunders from Tier 1, last season's championship winners for the team standings in P2. We've got Michael Gao, a newcomer, in P3, and Llewyn Stitchbury in P4. We've got Wingfei Chan in P5, another newcomer, and Mark Thomas, a returning favourite from last season, along with Nicholas Noonan in P7, another newcomer. We've got Scott Kostrich, the Scotsman from last season here as well, and Brian Damhouse, another newcomer, and Matthew Hoyland, another newcomer in P10. James Bostock in P11, and in P12 we've got Jamal Gandour. We've got Robin Truswell in P13, Danny Switzer in P14, Eric Bowles in 15th, Damien Stanwyck in P16, Chris Keenan in P17, Gareth Newton in P18, 19 is Graham Matthew, and 20 is Wesley Van Rens, Hussein Sarakar Desler in P21, Ashley Brooks in P22, Robert Mackey in McKee in P23, and Richard Gregory in P24, followed by Dalton Hall and Mark Robinson in P25 and P26. It's going to be a very short order that we're going to be getting underway for the race at 1. We've got a 20-minute race here to start us off in these heats, and we'll introduce Biggles here. He hasn't had a chance to talk just yet. Welcome, Biggles.
Welcome everybody. Of course, welcome back for another season, and race hype out there in the chat. Absolutely, this is going to be our first heat race. So good to see. We've got you got the pro AM, and the AM classes, as you'll see indicated there on your left. Waiting for all the drivers to load in the grid. Just one of them yet to be loaded in, but out of the 26 drivers, and I think Stephen, we're about on the way to go racing.
Certainly are. We've got lights going red already, and we're about to get underway for lap 1 of the Styrian race, and it's a great start from P1 and P2 and P3. P2 has got bogged down heavily there on the start there, does not get a good run, gets overtaken by several people straight off the bat, and it's nice and clean so far into turn 1, and looks like everybody's getting through there nice and tidy as it stands. Interesting note is that we now have damage in this league. We didn't have that last season, so people are going to have to be extra careful on these opening laps when the cars are all bunched up. Down into turn 3 here then, and still very little in the way of anybody challenging Michael Go on P1. Well, managed to get past Paul Cowlishaw in short order. We've missed that. There's been a couple of battles there in the background in turn 3, and down into turn 4 we have Wingfei Chan looking left and right on the back of Llewyn Stitchbury, and it's around the outside. He's going to try it on the Ferrari 296. Beautiful looking car that, and doesn't manage to get it done just yet. But there we have it. We've got everybody in single file as it stands at the moment, and but it's Rhys Saunders has managed to drop 3 places at the start there. He started in P2, didn't get a very good launch. That was a feature of his races last season as well. He had real struggles against Auramas Linskas, the eventual winner of the pro category in the end. But here we go for the first lap, and so far so good. No major crashes, and everybody's looking very clean and tidy as it stands, and looking forward to plenty of laps of great racing. 20 minutes on the clock. I don't imagine anybody's going to go for a pit stop in this heat But the second race that we'll have this evening, a 30-minute heat right after this one, will most likely involve at least one fuel pit stop. I'm pretty sure there is a mandatory pit stop there. But so far, so good for Michael Gow, who's managed to create a gap already at the front there. 8/10 there, the gap. Not quite got Paul Cowdershaw out of his slipstream just yet. But so far, so good from the man who started in P3, I think.
Paul started, no, he's Paul. You're talking about Paul, sorry?
No, Michael Gow.
I was going to say, yeah.
P3,
well, that's what's happened here. James has come a little bit deep into the corner there, and it's caused a little bit of a squabble between the two drivers. There's also a battle back there between Chris Keegan there and Danny Switzer. We did have a little bit of an accident at the start. I just want to see how this all pans out while we're still in early days of the action here for a 20-minute sprint race. It looks like there might be a challenge for the lead of the race at the moment. Yes, it is. Oh, battle for P2.
That's for P2. That's Lewin Stitchbury trying to get past Paul Cowdershaw. But we remember him from last season, and his defence is robust, to say the least. He's definitely got some very sharp elbows, and Stitchbury is finding that out, much to his dissatisfaction as it stands. This is a fantastic race course, you've got to say, for close wheel-to-wheel racing. There's lots of plenty of great straights to overtake on around this track, and plenty of heavy braking zones to try and lunge up the inside as well. But at the moment, Michael Gow is off in the distance. 129.8 fastest lap of the race so far for him, and he's created that gap. We've got a big crash there in the background. We saw a horse spinning round sideways out of turn 10 there, and that could be race over for that poor fellow. Not entirely sure who it was, as we see here. Chris Keenan going round the outside in turn 1, getting a lovely move done there as he's making his way through the field quite nicely there for an arm driver. He's quite high up, I've got to say, so doing well up into P12 as it stands on overall. But, yeah, down into turn 3, great place to make overtakes. Very tough corner to get right. The traction on the exit, very tricky and very easy to lose the rear end in any car. But, these GT3 cars are absolutely beasts, absolute beasts at taking the curbs around this track. We've got almost a 3-wide situation here, Dad. We've got a Ferrari diving down the inside into turn 4. What a move that is. Very brave on the brakes, gets the move done, and it's nice and clean, and gives it up nicely there, does Ashley Brooks, I think that is, who's in the Ferrari that gets overtaken. We're on board now with Eric Bowles, who's going around the outside in turns 7, 8 and 9. And this is a very tight battle here as well. Looking very tasty as we're getting little groups of cars gathering together now on the track, and giving us plenty of action to spectate here. Seeing a lot of people going very wide in those last 2 corners there as well, Biggles. What do you make of that? Is that allowed?
Well, you get a little bit of off-track adventure there. That may punish you. You can get a slowdown if you go, but they're on board currently at the moment with Mr. James Bostock, and he's looking at the classic overtaking opportunities in the turn 1, and then you get a bit of a kink here. Your DRS will be activated if you're in a Formula 1 car, but not in these GTs. And let's have a look and see if the classic overtake at the top of the hill in turn 3. And it's going to be last to late break, which can do a bit of a switcheroo here. So necessarily on the inside line is the best, because you want to get the extra traction there. And did get the job done there for Brian. So well done. And that is the kind of the ultimate way to get your overtake. But we'll see if that was Formula 1. You can come back with the DRS activation. And this time around you don't. Up for the battle for P2, still resuming. Go back at the start of the race. This is what happened with Gareth. I believe he might have got involved in a first corner incident on the first lap. There it was. And there's a few extra cars. That's the reason why you want to qualify up the front as much as possible, isn't it, there, Stephen, so that you can not be a passenger in situations like that.
Not sure who that was, but there was a black Mercedes there who's managed to pit maneuver 2 cars in 1 corner, and that's a bit naughty, but things move on. But yeah, damage being on now as well, as opposed to last season where damage was off, means that we also have higher limits on the drive-throughs and the disqualifications as well, back to 17 and 20 respectively for those. We've got battles all over the place at the moment on track, as we see 2 Ferraris here going down into turn 2 and turn 3. Turn 2 obviously being this little left-hand kink here, But look at this, like this Ferrari's going to go for a little bit of a lunge down the inside, gets late on the brakes, gets the move done, keeps enough space on the outside to not push the other Ferrari off. And it looks like Lee Saunders, car number 291, he's got the inside now for turn 4. Ooh, a little bit of bumping there. They got very lucky with the net code, you've got to say. And more squeezing going on into turn 4, but it looks like Lee Saunders is going to get that done. Job done, easy as you like. And a bit of a twitch there from Stitchbury as well, and he's lost out to Rhys Saunders. Rhys Saunders, of course, one of the fastest men on the grid last season, absolutely rapid. Any race he was in, he was either P1 or P2 last season, and he's looking good on pace already in this race so far. They've managed to catch back up to Michael Gow as well. We've got a lovely little train here from P1 to P4.
Yeah, of course, Rhys Saunders, that's the only thing. You mentioned that at the top of the race, at the top of the show, that his mistakes have been getting the car off the line. And once again, he made another mistake, dropping a couple of places actually getting off the line. But this time around, he's got the race pace because I don't know if he just loves that challenge of having to battle his way back up to get to the lead of the race or not. But that's what Rhys does. We got a couple of shout outs there. So can you get some encouraging words for Brian Damius? Is it Damius?
Damwee? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one.
He's currently here, the sequential sim sport driver, and he's in the P9 position. Actually, P7 overall for the class, P9 overall, sorry. And then also, let's go Team DXT.
DXT, of course, being Rob McKee and Matthew Hoyland in the Pro-Am category. And we've also got another DXT Motorsports Academy as well, maybe the junior team of Ashley Brooks and Alex Boniface, who I don't think is racing this evening. Promo race here this evening, of course. We've got the championship proper starting next week, and that should be an entertaining one at Brands Hatch. If you remember last season's Brands Hatch, this season should be just as entertaining. It was absolute chaos last season in Brands Hatch, and I dare say I want to see more of the same, especially with damage on, because it definitely gave us a lot of entertainment in last season's race. We have, of course, got fixed setups for each car here, and unlike last season, it was all Ferraris last season. This season, we've got a choice of 8 GT3 cars, as you can see. On track, we've got Mercedes, BMWs, Lamborghinis, all types of different cars available to choose from. And but yeah, at the moment, Rhys Saunders, as we mentioned there earlier, has struggled last season to get off the line. Can't get these cars launched very well at all. He lost out to Auramas Zelinskas almost every time they started on the front row together, and he lost 2-3 positions straight off the bat here this evening as well. But the man has pace, and he's currently got the fastest lap of this race with a 129.57, which I've got to say is pretty rapid. Nice time that, I've got to say, and so far so good for these top 4 who are still battling hammer and tongs. We've got Matthew Hoyland in the background there as well, up the back of Bostock as well, I believe that is. And there's a battle brewing there. It looks like he's got him, in fact, and they're swapping positions left and right. Bit of a ding-dong battle going on there as Eric Bowles looks on from behind. Not quite involved in the battle, but we've got more side-by-side action between these two. James Bostock, Matthew Hoyland into turn 3. It looks like it is Bostock who's got the inside line, but can't get it done. He's got to sneak in behind that. It's actually turn 4, I apologise. Oh, onto the gravel goes Hoyland, and that's a big mistake. That's allowed Bostock through. That's unfortunate. That's not what you want to do, Biggles.
No, it's not, unfortunately. But it's still, if you lose a position, but the good thing about it is that you're still pointing in the right direction. That's even more importantly, so you can continue to get this lovely battle going about halfway through this race at the moment. So you'll still have plenty of time to keep fighting and certainly keep bringing us entertainment as well as everybody out there. So please give us a like and subscribe if you're enjoying it, because we've got much more racing this season to go. When we get a split second too, in amongst all the action, we will go over, of course, this season and all the tracks. I'm just having a look at some of the fantastic liveries that you can currently see on these cars, and we're going to get used to that this season. Brand new motor vehicles across the board, as you can see. You've got your BMWs, you've got your Ferraris, your Mercedes and your Porsches. You've even got an Audi out there and a couple of Mercs classes, and once again we're going to be enjoying that. But the battle's still up here at the moment because Rhys Saunders, I don't know if he's made a mistake or not, but now you're bringing in Stitchbury into play, and guess what? Stitchbury's going to go for it at Rhys, and Rhys is going to try to shut the door on him. He's a battler, certainly a great battler. that we've seen last season with Reese, and he's managed to maintain that position. There was also overtakes absolutely everywhere. That's a great thing about Spielberg.
Oh, yes, definitely an overtake track. Lots of long straights in order to get that slipstream in full effect, as we almost saw a late lunge there into turn 4 from Wesley Van Rens, a returning customer from last season. Did rather well in his AM category last time. Is now in the Pro-Am category. Hopefully this extra category in between the two allows for a little more closer racing, more competitive racing within the tiers and the categories of drivers. But yeah, certainly looking forward to this season. We've got some fantastic racetracks coming up as well. We'll start the championship proper with Brands Hatch next week. As I've already said, we've got Spa after that. Then we can move on to the 1-hour night race at Le Mans, which is going to be worth double points as well. Hockenheim after that, an absolutely fantastic track. I haven't raced there in a long time myself. And then we'll go to another 1-hour sunset race, this time at Daytona. And then on to Interlagos, Watkins Glen after that. And then we finish up in round 8 with the Silverstone GP. An absolute fantastic race to finish the season on. And that gives us a total of 14 races in 8 rounds with the double heats that we get. And as we saw last season as well, it was very, very tight in this league in terms of championship. Thiago Reiser, not here this evening, managed to win the AM category in style with 72 points, but Rhys Saunders and Auramas Zilinskas had a real ding-dong battle right to the end between those two for the pro category. Bit of a snap there from Paul Cowdershaw as he's trying and his best to keep up with Michael Gow, a newcomer to the league, and he's already looking to make a statement in this promo race by winning it outright. He's definitely got some epic pace here this evening.
Absolutely loving to see that. Look how close you've got them in the top 4. They're all separated by about a second, so that's a great battle that's forming. You've got a huge gap, actually, you can see in the Pro AM now. So you've got the top 2 just hanging with each other, and then James is under a bit of pressure there from Matthew again, that we saw that battle brewing up. And then in your AM class, just so you can see at the moment, got Chris in amongst the Pro and AM. If you look at your track map, that's your bronze essential colour. He's mixing it all right up there, isn't he? Currently, just checking what that is. Yeah, that's Chris Keenan. He's a P13 overall versus class. And then you've got the other 2 AM drivers of Mark Robinson and Ashley all the way at the back at the last couple of places. But there we go. This battle still hasn't finished it over there between James Bostic and Hoyland there, Matthew, for the DXT. Then you got the Go TXT fan out there, the DXT TV Live. That's following you in YouTube. Thanks for watching. Hope this is entertaining for you.
We've also, it looks like we may have our first DNF as well. That might have been the Porsche in the background that we saw going off in turn 10. It's Damien Stanwix, a high I-rated driver as well, 2,764 I rating. Seems to be in the pits, has been there for quite a while. We've also got Hussein Sarakar Desla, a returning driver from season 1, in the pits as it stands as well. I imagine these guys are looking to fix some damage. I'm wondering whether or not we have fast repairs as well. I did not get that information. I should have checked that. Apologies. We've got a big spin there as well on the replay, as we see. That looks like a Ferrari of Robin Trustwell there, getting all out of shape.
Oh, this is getting closer. You've got about 5 minutes to go here, and you've got these 3 battling it out for what will be the top step of the first heat race. Remember, this will turn into your reverse grid 15 for the next race. Whoa, big twitch coming out of the corner there from Paul, isn't it? That's going to put him on a massive attack there from Reese. You don't leave the door open, as James would say, and you like that. Otherwise, you're going to get burgled. And will Reese burgle him? Paul can
on the inside line.
Yes. Oh, you got to have that.
Whoa! That's right, and they've got off, and they're in the gravel, and that is that. They are both out. That's big damage for Paul Cowdershaw. He was trying to hold on to that too much. Maybe he squeezed the man. He's got big damage to the wheel. He's back on the track as well. He cannot get that car moving in a straight line. That is him done, I believe. That looked like a tough one to call from the angle that we had, but it maybe looks as though Rhys Saunders had nowhere to go. He was already on the edge of the track, and that's a nice little segue to go into in terms of the new changes in iRacing. I'm sure you know more about this than me, Biggles, but we have got big changes to bits of the handling model, and the gravel is one of those big changes. It now really slows the cars down. Helps you definitely avoid walls, but there was no avoiding that barrier for Cowley Shaw there. He had no choice but to smash into that one. We've got some more action here. We've got a slow car. That's poor Cowley Shaw limping around turn 6 and 7 in order to get back to the pits, and he's around again. I thought somebody maybe was going to collect him again there, but there's another big crash.
No, that's
the aftermath of
yeah. Sorry, I was trying to. Unfortunately, it's just not showing us that. I can't believe race control doesn't even give us any information about that event. Could you believe that? Well, maybe it is. Because I just wanted to see the replay of it, obviously, a little bit more of that event. Yeah. It's just,
maybe a little bit of space there for Reece Saunders on that green curb as well, but can't say that he turned into Cowley Shaw. It was most likely the other way around, but that opens things up massively for Michael Gow. He is going to be laughing all the way to the bank after that one. And we've now got Wing Fei Chan all over the back of Mark Thomas as well, but gaps are forming. Larger gaps are forming all over the pro category. It's in the pro-am category where things are heating up, where we've got Danny Svitzer, a newcomer to the league, here in this BMW with a fantastically grey and green livery, and he's looking all over the back of the Ferrari in front. There's not a lot of chance to get an overtake done in these corners though. Pretty much single file till you get to turn 9, and then even then in turn 9, if you're going up the inside in turn 9, you've got to be very brave. Best place to really get the overtakes done is down into turn 1, down into turn 3 and turn 4. But look at this, he's going to try it around the outside here. Is this going to work? Wow. It's an early defense. It does not. It does not work. Look at that. Parks it on the apex. Defense complete by Eric Bowles. And a fantastic defense at that, I might add.
You'd have to now, because you're getting down to just the last couple of laps. So we're a time-based race, but you can see just shy of a minute and change to go on the race, so they get 1 or 2 laps in a relatively short lap around here. As you are aware, about 1 minute 30, give or take, is the average that most of the drivers are doing. G'day, Phil, across the pond. Haven't seen you in a little while, Phil, but Phil's back and saying good evening. This is probably one of the last chances. Maybe Danny can send it up from the inside here and see if he can steal this position up at a P5. He can, if he can make it stick in the corner there, and and that's Eric is around, isn't it?
Oh, that's a big crash. That's a big crash. It's all gone wrong there. Huge amount of debris all over the place. Eric Bowles is out. He's reset and towed back to the pits. And the damage model being involved in this season's race is already collecting a few names, as we've seen people going very wide in these final 2 corners still. It's almost certainly an off-track, that. I think if you lift, doesn't matter in iRacing, but here we have the white, that's the checkered flag, is that? That's the white flag. Yep. So Michael Gow on the last lap of this first heat race, and he hasn't really looked back since he took the lead in that first corner there. He's gone very wide in turn 1. Mistakes creeping in. Is Stitchbury going to be able to take advantage of that? It seems like he's too far away at the moment. We've got green Mercedes there in the background, the AMG off very wide there in the first corner. Very easy to totally lose the car over that sausage curb in that first corner if you go too wide there as well. But plenty of battles still are brewing, as here comes Wing Fei Chan on Mark Thomas. Mark Thomas goes for the defense down the inside into turn 3. And that's going to make it very difficult for Wing Fei Chan to get past here. Doesn't manage to get the switchback. Oh, he's lost it, and he's crashed it, and there's another car behind. Just lost it through pure. Just felt sorry for them by the looks of it. He didn't seem to be involved in that at all. That was, I'm not sure who that was behind them, but that's another person that managed to spin around. And there's a Ferrari there with no front bumper whatsoever, and lots of damage being caused here.
Wesley. But anyway,
Wesley Van Rens.
Yeah,
certainly is. But here's the man of the moment. Anyway, Michael Gow coming around at the final 2 corners. He comes down into turn 9 here as we speak, and he's going to take this win in emphatic style. Stitchbury did manage to close the gap to within a second, but it's too little, too late. And obviously, he was a big winner from that crash earlier with Reece Saunders and Cowley Shaw. Not the first time those two have come together, as here he comes weaving across the line, flashing his lights. He's very happy with this win. Michael Gow wins the first heat of the promo race. It's Stitchbury comes P2, and rounding out the podium is Reece Saunders, who even after that incident has managed to keep things together just about. He was very lucky to get away with it. to be honest. Obviously, Paul Cowlishaw out of the race, and not quite so lucky. We've got Brian Damwee in P5, and I'm sure his fans in the chat will be loving that. That's a great finish for him. We've got Scott Kostrich in P6, in fact, as well, but he's obviously in the lower arm category, but he's only P2. We've got Nicholas Newton in P4 overall, who's done very well. He's won his category. We've got Matthew Hoyland as well, who had fans in the chat as well, on a podium in his first race here in Evolution Sim Racing. James Bostock with a tidy P4 finish. Danny Switzer with P5 as well at his opening ceremony race. We've got Chris Keenan winning the AND category, followed by Mark Robinson and Ashley Brooks, all getting a podium, as there are only 3 drivers in that category. How entertaining was that, though? Lots of action, lots going on, lots to discuss. And yeah, that was entertainment at its finest. Some great racing shown there, and some interesting incidents to go over as well. What do you make of that then, Biggles, eh?
Well, they've been eager out there to get the season started. Once again, with the new damage model that they're going to have this season, which I'm going to go over real quickly, just before I show you those results. So these are the details of the league, of course. We are in race 1 in 20 minutes. Now we're going to go to race 2. That's the 30 minutes with the reverse 15. So the drivers get an opportunity, once again, if you didn't necessarily get it on the top step, to come back and fight and get some points there. So, and then you can see the rest of it. We have the choice of cars they've selected. Most of the drivers have kept with the Ferraris that we had from last season. And the rest of the details, which we come back on, you actually had mentioned as well, because we do have to go over and just quickly look at our results as they're in a little bit of a warm-up from our first heat race. I should like to go through it a second. It should be showing us.
Sure, yeah, certainly is. We've got Michael Gow then winning his first race here. I'm not sure if he was in the preseason races. They obviously weren't broadcast, but that's a win for AKM Racing UK in the BMW for the number 283 driver. Congratulations to him. We've got then, is it Ewan? I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. We'll check that after the fact. We've got Stitchbury though in P2, Rhys Saunders in P3, Nicholas Newton in P4, Mark Thomas in P5. For Tea and Crumpets team. Fantastic name that. Love that. Scott Kostrich, the Scotsman, for a privateer team in the 102 car in P6. And Brian Damwee in P7. We've got Wingfei Chan in P8. A great result for him. And Matthew Hoyland on the podium spot in his first race here. Followed by James Bostock. Then Danny Switzer. Another great opening for him in this league. And Chris Keenan doing very well. Mixing it up with the Pro-Am category there. Followed by Graham Matthew, Richard Gregory, Robin Truswell, Jamal Gandua, and then we've got below that, I can't quite, that's Mark Robinson, and then Rob McKee, Wesley Van Orens, Ashley Brooks, done well there, and we've got Dalton Hall, and then we've got several people who didn't manage to get all of the laps in. We've got Gareth Newton and Eric Bowles, who are a lap down each, both getting maybe collected in that big crash that we saw on the final lap. We've got Paul Cowlishaw there, 3 laps down. We saw what happened to him with his contact with Rhys Saunders, and then Hussein Sarakar Desla, quite a few laps down below that. And there was one more person there below that as well, Richard, who was crashed out. I'm not sure who that was. But yeah, that is the results from Heat 1. We're going to have a reverse grid, and it's going to be Robin Truswell starting on pole. He did that last season and managed to hold on to that pole position for quite some time. It's going to be a bit more of an ask at this track, given how easy it can be to overtake. Pace differences between the classes are marked as well. We've got a very varied grid overall throughout the categories here in terms of I-rating level and skill, ranging from almost 4,000 from Rhys Saunders down to 800 and 600 for Dalton Hall. I think it was Dalton Hall maybe who was the man did not finish even the first few laps. Yeah, very interesting first race. That's an early marker for what's going to happen for the season, and it was probably predictable that Rhys Saunders would be there or thereabouts, and it was probably predictable that you would have it coming together at some stage with Paul Cowlishaw. That was a common feature in last season's last season. Those two hitting each other at times. Obviously, no damage last season, but we have got the damage now. So those incidents and accidents and mistakes definitely cost a lot more, which means that the quickest drivers aren't necessarily going to be at the top of the timing sheets every race because of those incidents causing damage, causing you to lose a little bit of pace, or outright putting you out of the race altogether as well. I want to say thank you as well on behalf of Evolution Sim Racing to CAME, who will once again be awarding the top 5 drivers in each class here with a personalised championship trophy, which is absolutely brilliant to see. I love to see that kind of thing. Any driver who hasn't won a trophy in their class and completes 7 out of 8 championship rounds this season as well will also receive a personalised ESR trophy, with giving their driver name, car, race number, and their finishing position as well. That's a fantastic little reward there for drivers, do you think, Biggles? Just to promote people turning up for every race, to try and prevent that late season dropout that we often see in many leagues as people start to realise that maybe they're not really going to challenge for any high positions in the championship. But those little trophies, definitely worth fighting for, do you think?
Oh, yeah, it is. And once again, it's just lovely that a league will do that because it's free to enter the league there. So you're getting trophies and all those sort of goodies. And obviously you get a fantastic broadcast brought to you every week. Is just amazing. They're in a bit of a warm-up session at the moment. That's why we're not showing any pictures because most of the drivers would like to just have a bit of a breather. Sign-ups are still open. The information will be in the Discord link below there if you do want to join this fantastic league and still race. There's still time to get in there because once again, we are just on our promo race. So there you'll have time before the first week, of course, before round 1 at Brands Hatch next week. The grid should be coming up in a second for us for our reverse 15 full race.
Got it there, yeah. We've got Ashley Brooks starting in pole position. I thought it was going to be Robin Trustwell, but reverse 20 for a 40 grid race, so I've made a mistake there. Apologies. We've got Wesley Van Rens in P2 and Rob Mackay in P3. Thank you for that pronunciation there, DXTV Live in chat. Very helpful. Mark Robinson in P4 and Jamal Gandour in P5. We've got Robin Trustwell in P6 and then Richard Gregory in P7. Graham Matthew in P8. Chris Keenan in P9, who did very well in his first race there. He should hopefully be able to hang on for some positions here. Danny Switzer in P10, followed by James Bostock in P11 and Matthew Hoyland in P12. We've got lights though, and we're going to get underway for the second race already, and away we go. It looks like a bit of wheel spin there from P1 for Ashley Brooks. Not a great start. We've got some great starts further back in the grid. This could cause havoc into turn 1. Let's see how things go. We've got a very big... Oh, there's the crash. I saw that coming a mile away. There was a big bump there, and it looks like it's Eric Bowles dropping down the order quickly, and Danny Switzer also losing out a little bit. But look at the spread of the cars there in the background. See everybody battling and vying for all sorts of space, on any space on the track they can get as we come down into turn 3 here. Chris Keenan there in the Porsche going down the inside. Bit of a bump there, and he then has to check up again. That causes absolute mayhem behind us. Everybody else behind has to check up as well. Very difficult to predict that kind of thing as you're hurtling into a corner at top speed, trying to get all the space and time you can get on the table. And so far, this second heat is already proven to be a bit of a handful. We've got 3 cars going down the inside there of a Porsche in turn 4, and it's getting very tasty. We're going to have a 3 wide here in turn 7, and people are getting very squirrely as their bits of contact coming left and right, as people are really vying for positions here, battling hard on this opening lap. We've got a big bit of dust kicked up there in the background. On board with James Bostock's Porsche, and he's right in the thick of this big battle here in the middle of the pack, and so far so good. Mark Robinson's managed to take the lead from Ashley Brooks out front, but here is where the action is we've got almost 2 wide every corner here on this opening lap, and things are getting very tasty. We've got damage left, right and centre. We've got a bit of a damaged bumper here for Paul Cowlishaw again in the wars in his Ferrari. Not going well for Paul Cowlishaw today. He's getting squeezed and boxed in here down into turn 1. Is he going to be able to go for the super dive up the inside into turn 1? He's thinking about it. He decides better of it and decides to hang back and wait for a better opportunity. What an opening lap.
Yeah, it's also very strange. Ooh, somebody spun off. A lot of, you remember, you don't win a race on the first corner. That's pretty much what, but unfortunately some of the drivers seemed like they wanted to try to win the race on the first corner. You've got to get to see the end of the race. The 30 minutes is what you're going to be focusing. And that's what you've seen, a bit of a collision when everybody comes together. It's also very difficult because it's like domino effect, isn't it? Like you get tapped from behind and somebody else taps you from behind, etc., etc., etc. So much action. I'm going to try to go back and look at the race start again so that we can realise how many of those drivers have all suffered, because we do have a few of them in pit road at the moment. And no doubt getting some of those repairs done. Reece Saunders has gone in. I think we're also looking at Nicholas has gone in. So here it is. I think it's just because it's a fantastic reverse grid. It's put the AM on top of the Pro AM and then Pro class, as you can see on the leaderboard timing.
The leaderboard timing's a bit upside down at the moment. We've actually got Rich Gregory in the lead at the moment. He's gained 6 positions after the start of this race. And it's Matthew Hoyland in P2 at the moment. Well, actually, I think our timing screens are just having a bit of a moment because people are jumping about all over the shop. And it's currently Mark Robinson in P1. I don't think that's quite right. I have to wait a moment. Wait for things to settle down a little bit on the timing boards before we can kind of get on top of that. But Wesley Van Rens right up the back of Robin Trustwell as we shuffle around. Everybody shuffles around a little bit. But yeah, Reece Saunders had to go into the pits early on. We've got Michael Go in the pits early on as well. There is a mandatory pit stop, I believe, in this category as well, in this second heat race as well. So these guys may be able to get this undercut to work and get some clean air, get some fast laps pumped in, and make up some positions when everybody else pits. Here at the moment we've got Graham Matthew here in the Audi trying to defend against the BMW behind him, and that looks like it's Danny Switzer trying to get past. But here more battles up and down the grid. It's absolutely hectic at the moment on track. So many groups of cars together, and yeah, still waiting. Let's have a look at the restart at the start though. There, look at that. So many people getting bad starts at the front there, and that causes major problems for everybody behind. We're almost 5 wide going to turn 1. There's the punt, and there's several punts there, and people have to come almost to a stop there, Biggles, in order to avoid the contact.
Actually, that did not look as bad as what we thought it was, with a lot of positions being dropped at the start. So they were actually eventually got through there. Just a couple of cars going around, but at the end of the day, I guess that was just your first corner. Here it is again. This is not a replay. That is a replay. My apologies. I was going to say, yeah, we did see that one. Back to the live pictures. 5 minutes into this race, we have 5 minutes to go, and some of those drivers made pit stops. We've actually got our drivers retired already. That's Damien, as you can see on your timing table. It is eventually sorting itself out, the timing table. It's not because it's got the pro up the top, but that's not the actual positions that they're in, because the person that's in leading this race at the moment is the AM class driver of Mark Robinson, because of the reverse grid.
Yeah, certainly doing a very good job of holding on to that position as it stands. But he's got Wesley Van Rens behind him, very close to catching him. But at the moment, the gap's healthy for him, and he's just got to concentrate on his own marks, get his braking points right, get the turn-in points right. And it's going to be difficult for Wesley to make any kind of move here. We've got Richard Gregory in P3 and Ewan Stitchbury in P4 as well. He's gained 15 positions so far this race. The only man close to that is Paul Cowlishaw, who's currently in P10 and has gained 14. So big gainers, big losers here in this second heat race. 6 minutes down of the 30, but there's still a lot of racing to be done, and of course a mandatory pit stop and some fuel to be taken on board during that pit stop. Maybe have a move brewing in the background here as we've got a Ferrari right on the tail of this AMG. The AMG, this is something that's going to be very interesting for this season as well, is the difference in the cars. Obviously they're all GT3 cars, their performance is relatively similar, but some cars are just better at some things than others. And that Mercedes, I remember from the last time I raced GT3 cars around this track, is an absolute beast at this track. Its acceleration out of the corners and its straight line speed is unheard of. But look at that dive there from Wesley Van Rens in the Ferrari, getting past that AMG in some style there. That's not Wesley Van Rens, I apologise. That is in fact Matthew Hoyland, or sorry, Ewan Stitchbury. I will get on top of that at one stage or another. Very difficult to follow what's happening with all of the cars so bunched up together and so close, and all the different. It's a lot easier than last season, I have to say, because everybody was in a Ferrari. It was hard to tell them apart, but at least this season we've got some at least different look shaped vehicles to give us a little bit of a helping hand.
Yeah, this is
Wesley
why
Van Rens has taken the lead as well.
Yeah,
I missed that one.
I've switched the leaderboard there over just so it's a little bit more easier to comprehend all that with the race drivers rather than the grouped category. The group one looks nice, no doubt about that, but this is a little bit more difficult to follow at the point. So you've got a driver like this, and Brian who's gone around. Keeps it out of the fence, but that's the good thing about here in Austria. You have quite a bit of a runoff area. That's pit lane entrance, so what a way. You might as well just dive in there now, aren't you? Because you lost so much time. Get it over and done with.
Not sure he's got a choice in the matter at that stage, because I don't think coming back onto the track in that scenario would have been legal. He would definitely have been crossing the pit lane entry, and that could have been a fat penalty. We've got a big battle here between 3 cars here. We've got Rhys Saunders right on the back of 2 cars. We've got the Porsche, white Porsche on the inside. It might not be white for me. Oh, there's contact, and he's been spun around, and difficult to tell. You need to see that one back again to understand what's going on. About Scott Kostrich, the Scotsman, going around. It does look as though my trading paint is having a bit of a hissy fit, because it is white on my screen, but I do not think it is white on everybody else's. But look at that livery there of that Ferrari as well. That multicoloured Porsche around, and that was an interesting one. Let's have a look at the replay here and see what's happened there. Yeah, I think I was got to say the Porsche's understeered into him there, and it's caused his own demise, I think. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that's always difficult to say. I mean, yeah, maybe but you got to go for the opportunity there, and well, if anything, it's hopefully only been a self-accident at that point. Could have had 2 of those drivers going on. Reese as well. It's our promo race, so this may be the reason why too you're seeing a little bit more aggression from a lot of drivers, because there's no points for your promo race. It's just getting a taste for the action. It's also giving us a little bit of a taste for what is to come this season, because we're getting a lot of action to try to capture a lot. So you have to bear with me, as you can see the battle for P1 currently brewing at the moment. That's Stitchby and Van Rez. So yeah, that's why I'm a little bit more quieter in the background, because I've also got to flick a million zillion buttons and try to capture all the action for you. So that's why we have a promo race. We get it all perfect for the next actual first round. Number 1, here we go, another overtaking opportunity. Somebody's going around.
Oh, there's an AMG around there. I think that might be Richard Gregory dropping the order very rapidly there as well. He's going to struggle to get back on track from that position. Car pointing perpendicular to the track is always dangerous to rejoin. A fat penalty comes in this league as well if you do rejoin, and you could lose positions or even points off your championship total in the league as well. But we've got in chat there DXT Live saying, come on Hoyland, back into P3. Doing an absolutely fantastic job there, Hoyland. Up 6 positions, and here we've got Ewan Stitchbury as well. I've got to say, one of the things this promo race is going to give us is a chance to get a look at some of these new drivers to the league. And Ewan Stitchbury so far, you've got to say, out of the 2 races as it stands, is doing a fantastic job. He's done a very good job in the first race, got himself up onto the podium, and currently leading this one by keeping his car in one piece and staying out of trouble. He's managed to get himself in a lovely spot, but battles up and down the grid still. We're seeing people following very closely here into turn 1. It's Danny Switzer, not sure how to pronounce his name. To be honest, we will double check that for the first race of the season. We've got people going a little bit onto the grass there. There's a little bit of fence that we're seeing put up here by Mark Robinson. This armed driver is definitely doing all he can to hold on to as many positions as he can. Runs a little bit wide there, and that maybe opens the door for Cowley Short behind. He's got a fairly good run. A little bit of damage to the front of that Ferrari, I believe, that we saw in the opening laps. And but so far, he's fending him off. As it stands, you've got to say, this is a great job from Mark Robinson. Definitely damage to the front of that car for Paul Cowlishaw as well. That's definitely going to affect his pace. Maybe going to drop a couple of tenths off his lap time as it stands. But fingers crossed he can get that fixed in his pit stop. Obviously, everybody has to do at least one pit stop in this race. But James Bostock close on the tail of Rob Mackay. And I've got to say, some of the liveries, not sure how you pronounce that word, never have been. I've had arguments with the girlfriend about that many a time. Some of the liveries here are beautiful, gotta say. People have put in a lot of effort into these, you can tell, and we are all the better for it.
Look at that pole here. What a machine. He has gained overall. He's gained 17 positions. It's currently showing me on my telemetry 5. I guess they're showing that 5 in class, but it's 17 overall. It's absolutely fantastic. And looking to gain another one right now of Mark Robinson up the road here.
It's definitely more difficult than it should be. He's going to defend this, though, is Mark Robinson. Is he? He's decided maybe not to. He'll leave the door open down the inside, but Karashaw goes to the late launch. There it is, and he tries to turn it, realises he's there, has to check out of it, and gives it up. But you've got to defend your position better than that, Mark. You can't be intimidated by these pro drivers.
Ashley as well.
Maybe it's a possibility. Ashley's got a very good run here, but I don't think it's going to be close enough into turn 4. Left the door open quite a bit there, and Ashley gets spun around. Gets oh, that's the vortex of danger if I've ever seen it. That was a bit of oh, that's a bad rejoin as well. There's a Ferrari there. That's had to basically stop on track to avoid an accident there from Ashley. Not sure what she could have done really. She had to get back around somewhere, but you've got to just sit and hold the brakes and wait for people to get past in that kind of situation. That could be a, maybe no penalties apply in a promo race, but that is a bit of a no-no, a bit of a naughty one, that, from Ashley. But as it stands, Ewan Stitchbury, 18 positions gained in this race here, and doing an absolutely fantastic job. We've also got 12 positions gained by Eric Bulls and Hussein Sarakar Desla as well for GP2 Racing, doing a fantastic job at the moment. Ashley Brooks down 14 positions now, after starting on the very front position on the grid, in fact. But the AM drivers maybe getting a little bit intimidated by some of these pro drivers, struggling to keep up with their pace for sure. But, I've got to say, you've got to defend your position, whether it's a pro driver behind you or not. We're going to see maybe another dive here. Not quite close enough to get a nose up the inside is Highland. But he's trying to fight for this P1 here, Highland. And DTX TV Live in chat is going to be absolutely off there, on the edge of their seat for this, as Matthew Hyland, the Pro-Am category driver, fighting a pro driver here for the win. He's up 10 positions overall, is Hyland, and doing a fantastic job here.
And well, as Reece Saunders too for the team year 1 was trying to make his way back up through the field. And Reece has always been in the wars, generally. Very aggressive driver, very quick driver, very aggressive driver as well too, which, you know, that's what some of the best world racing drivers in the world are like. I mean, Max Verstappen, things like that, you know.
Oh, we all love to see an aggressive driver. That's what we like to see. It's why we watch racing, for those tense moments. We've got an unorthodox overtake here out of turn 8. Going down the inside of turn 9, that's Reece Saunders on James Bostock. Not much of a fight put up there from James, and you're starting to see some of these guys that know each other well. Don't want to fight with Reece Saunders too long. He's just going to cost you time, and you're going to cost him time as well. He's going to get past you anyway. The man is absolute lightning on a racetrack, and his iRating says something similar as well. We've got Highland still there in the background, looking to try and get past Ewan Stitchbury, and seeing this battles all over the place at the moment, and it's making for some very entertaining racing here. We have got lots of gaps at the same time though, and little groups forming of cars as people try and make their way through. But going back to Reece Saunders, there's one thing we've seen him do before, is recover a race from a poor position, and he has already pitted, I believe. So he's got maybe the chance to win this, because if he can close the gap onto the leaders in short enough time before they pit, maybe he can get them with the big undercut. Seeing here, Danny Switzer getting past Wesley Van Rens. Quite easily, you might add there. That was
way too easy. I was wondering why Wesley didn't put too much of a fight up on that one. Remember, they are in the same class, so you are looking at both those drivers in the Pro AM class. So that's, so you know, you'd see sometimes those easy overtakes because they're completely in a different class. So they're like, you know, I'm going to put up that battle with that. But yeah, maybe looking a little bit later. We're just over halfway through the race, so remember there is plenty of time. Some drivers are a little bit more strategic and patient with the way that they drive, and realize, well, you know, if I'm going to battle out with you right now, perhaps we're both going to go around, or I got a feeling that we're going to have contact, so let me just battle it out into the pit stops later on. Reece Saunders sets the fastest lap just before there, so he's on a flyer. That's to be expected. James is now on the back. I think that's because Rob just got an overtake too. Yes, Rob McKee. Mackay, that's it, sorry. Yep, so I think, yeah, once again, James is just a completely different, probably another one of those drivers that is on different strategy, perhaps, not chewing too much time in, battling it out with drivers. Let's see how those pit stops pan out. We saw last season, didn't we, some of those drivers taking very smart pit stop strategies and getting a lot of overtakes later.
Yeah, it was a trademark of Rhys Saunders for sure. He managed to gain so many positions in one particular race. I can't remember which it was, but he absolutely pulled out the masterclass pit strategy in one of the races last season. As we go on board here for a replay, what have we got?
It's going around there, isn't it? Yeah, I was going to say.
That's turn. I can't tell which turn that is. Is it turn 7? I think it is. Maybe turn 7. One of the only two. There's only 3 left-handers, and I still can't tell which one it is. But yeah, I think it's turn 6.
Oh, 3. Only 2 left-handers.
Yeah, 3, because turn 2. I've had this argument with many people. It definitely counts. It's a kink, but it's the corner. Yeah. You have to turn the wheel. True. It's a corner.
Oh, do you?
I've had this argument. Well, if you don't turn the wheel, you're definitely going to hit the barrier on the right-hand side. I tell you that for free, because I've bumped into somebody there, and it made my wheel go straight and put us both in the wall. Cost me my first win at the Steering Grand Prix. We've got Sarah Desler coming into the pits, as well as James Bostock as well, going for pit stops relatively early. And after last season we saw a lot of people just running the tank, filling the tank up, running it dry, going for a splash and dash at the end. I'm beginning to think that some people have figured out that that's maybe not the quickest way to get that pit stop out of the way. Sometimes it's better to underfuel the car to start with, make yourself a little bit lighter and quicker off the mark, and then pit around now, about 2/3 of the way through the race, in order to find a nice little gap in traffic behind you, and that gives you the undercut opportunity as well. I doubt anybody takes tyres for a 30-minute race. They'll probably be reserved for the 1-hour races. But gotta say, Matthew Hoyland, who DXT Live is cheering on like a man possessed in chat. Come on, Hoyland, he says, is doing a fantastic job up there in P2. And intervals 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds at the moment. Looks like maybe Matthew Hoyland's made a mistake here, because it's rising rapidly, and possibility that he could lose positions here. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but it could also just be our timing screens being a bit funny. But that interval has just jumped from 1.5 seconds to 4.5 seconds in short order. Wesley Van Rens could be about to start putting pressure there on Hoyland. We've also seen Danny Switzer go into the pits as well, and Rhys Saunders is continuing his charge back up the field and taking names as it stands. He is just breezing past people at the moment. Got Mark Robinson here doing a fantastic job from his starting position. The AM category driver still up there in the top 5-6, and doing a great job to keep his car in one piece and race clean, as people, well, they're going to get past him anyway, I think is his thinking, most likely. And you might as well not try not to lose too much time fighting them off. It's inevitable.
Yeah, Mark Robinson is he's the only driver here that's on. He's got he's not the same. He's got 834 iRacing. Here he is, Mark. So I wonder how much he's going to be putting up a fight against Rhys Saunders, who's going to go on by here. Rhys Saunders, of course, with a nearly 4,000 iRating. It's a bit of a difference in class there, but that's the reason why Mark's in the AM class and the Pro class there. So once again, you wouldn't put too much of a fight up. But I tell you, he's pretty good currently at the moment, because overall P7 is pretty impressive. Dayton Hall down currently at the moment, who is actually out of the race, one of our retirements 3, is 667 iRating now. So again, we talked about all the iRating. Like, it's not the massively overall important thing that you have, but it does give you a little bit of a basis of an indication. Here's Paul on Robin Trustwell. I think Paul got the overtake right there. So, yeah, Paul done a fantastic job there. Up 20 positions overall. And you can see got class as well too. Currently running second in the Pro class, but still yet to make a pit stop. I'd say Rhys Saunders is on for a race win here. I think that strategy's paid off by boxing early.
Yeah, he's done that before in the past. We've got Michael Gow trying to get a recovery on as well, going down the inside of this here yellow Ferrari of, I think that's Nicholas Newton. Could be wrong, but not managed to get the move done. Proving very difficult to get past this flying banana of a Ferrari. Absolutely love that colour though, I've got to say. English mustard yellow, would you call that? I'm not sure, but I could be wrong because it looks totally different on the stream than it does on my screen.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm not sure what's going on with my trading paint. I'll definitely have to get that fixed for the next race.
There's some options I think you need to select something differently in the iRacing that they didn't update. You need to tick that off, sir.
There we go.
I'll send you that real quick when we get a second. We have 7 minutes and change to go on this one. Here's Wesley, and here is Paul on the back there of Wesley. We've also got another driver in the mix there. That is Ashley Brooks, I believe. Yes, that's being lapped.
Yeah, hopefully just gets out of the way. Hope he doesn't come back at the racing line here and block this lime green Ferrari in the background as well. But interestingly here as well, we've got 7 minutes left, like you say, and Rhys Saunders is currently on the charge and could possibly end up on the same piece of tarmac again as Paul Cowlishaw. Is there going to be a bit of afters? Is there going to be some history? There's definitely history there between the two, for sure. I'm sure it's all respectful in the paddock afterwards, but on the racetrack, these guys leave very little room for error between each other. We've got Paul Cowlishaw doing a fantastic job in this second heat here. Gained 20 positions. Absolutely phenomenal drive from him so far. Definitely making up. And that is with damage. Look at this front bumper. He's definitely got a bit of a crumpled front bumper there. You can see the engine through the gap in the bonnet there. And to be getting all of this done so easily with that damage, that is impressive. But you've got to say as well that maybe that's going to allow Rhys Saunders a little bit of an opportunity to get him as he comes into the pits now, as so does Mark Robinson, as well as Wesley Van Rens. We've got Rob Mackay in the background as well, also coming into the pits, and we're starting to see the pit stops coming in thick and fast.
This driver at the moment, we haven't really shown too much of Mark Thomas from the Tea and Crumpets racing team. Love that. Tea and Crumpets. Very nice. And Mark has made a pit stop, so that is net. I think you have to say that's net P2 at this point for Mark, because Rhys is in, I'd have to say net P1, because he currently at the moment putting some flying laps on. Got a bit of traffic up the road to deal with. No, actually it's not traffic. This is actually racing position. Now, once again, I wonder if Robin Trustwell will not put up too much of a fight. Oh, you always say that, but then Robin is, but because Robin's still yet to go into the pit road as well. I'd say soon some of these drivers might have to look at doing it, because they're getting all these drivers that have made those pit stops are now starting to be on the back bumper.
Certainly is. We've got Nicholas Newton here in a Ferrari, overtaken by Eric Boles. We've got a big battle going on here. This is not the place you want to be starting going side by side at this track, but that's the beauty of the Styria track here in Austria, is that you can pretty much go side by side everywhere. It is wide enough to do that, but there are certain corners such as these two left-handers here, turns 7 and 8. Maybe it's ill-advised between Roush and Worth as they head down now to Rinton. There's a pit stop from Eric Boles. Oh no, he's just let him pass and then carried on.
So see if
That's
Mark
an
Thomas is
interesting
going to be zooming by two of the drivers in pit road right now. Should get himself up into P2. Actually, this is really amazing here, because Stitchberry has come back out, and Stitchberry is ahead of Matthew. Matthew's now out as well too. So yeah, we go out there. Matthew Hoyland saying shout out for Matthew. So and then
Matthew Hoyland.
And there's Mark Thomas right on the bumper.
Yeah, he's got company there. I was about to say from Mark Thomas, and Matthew Hoyland has really got a battle on his hands now to try and hold on to a great position here. DXTV live in chat is going to be literally screaming at his monitor or TV, whatever he is watching out. There goes the dive up the inside from the Porsche. Doesn't get on the brakes late enough, but the door is left open. Very respectful there, maybe too respectful there from Hoyland. Could have shut the door there on him, but decided not to. Went for the safer option. That's nice to see, though. Great respectful racing. maybe just doesn't really want to risk his race too much here. Has got very little time remaining, 2 minutes, minute and a half. Because that's why we're seeing all of these pit stops coming in thick and fast. There's a replay there of Rob Mackay getting things wrong in turn 1. And yeah, he's going to struggle to get the car spun around from that position there. Very difficult. Got to wait for the cars to come past and spins again.
Yeah,
That's not what you want.
Yeah, it's because you hit the loud pedal, don't you? The tyres are all either overheated and they just have no grip. You've got to be really gingerly on the throttle when you do go around. Even how will I know? I'm not even a race driver, my friend. But that's what I've seen all the time, you know.
Interestingly, you do have Rhys Saunders actually in the lead at the moment. Ewan Stitchbury has lost out to the undercut, and there is a big gap there as well. It's almost 7-8 seconds at the moment between Ewan Stitchbury and Rhys Saunders. Rhys Saunders was pitted very early and decided to go for that option, and it's worked a treat for him in the end, as it did so many times last season as well. Matthew Hyland in P1 in class. Just needs to keep his car safe. That's all he cares about at the moment. He doesn't want to fight too hard with Mark Thomas or anybody else. And but Rhys Saunders has pulled off another masterstroke, has he not?
Yep, I think so. But because this is a great battle here between Wesley Van Rez. We saw this and Nicholas. I'm not going to pronounce Nicholas' surname correctly, so yeah, it's up to you on that
Newtonen.
Newtonen, yeah.
Newtonen, I think. After speaking to many Finnish guys in racing, because they just tend to crop up everywhere in racing, Finns. All of them absolutely rapid as well. I'm not sure what they're putting in the water over there, but it's definitely working. And but yeah, that's Nicholas Newtonen. What a battle that was, though. I mean, at one point there, they could have reached through each other's windows and given each other a slap if they wanted to. They were so close, rubbing doors. Through turn 4. We've got Michael Gow as well on the back of Paul Cowlishaw. Paul Cowlishaw, with that damage, is going to struggle to keep Michael behind here, I believe. Michael's probably going to try and line this up into turn 3 or 4. It's not the best option to try and go for it into turn 1, because it just leaves the option of a fight back down into turns 3 and 4. He needs to line this up properly. And yeah, at the moment we've got white flag situation coming thick and fast very soon, and Rhys Saunders, I don't know how he does it. He's an absolute magician, isn't he? He's pitted first lap and then just banged in lap after lap, absolutely rapid. The only man to get into the 129s regularly, Ewan Stitchbury, has also got his best lap is a 129.7, but fastest lap belongs to that man, Rhys Saunders. Unstoppable force.
And one thing that I thought about that great strategy, I'm going to talk to him hopefully in a minute, literally just over a minute change, because here he is here right now.
There is time up. We've got the checkered flag ready to wave as he comes around the final corner for the Austrian race, and it's going to be a victory once more for Rhys Saunders. Get used to seeing that for this season, because I doubt he won't be there again. Ewan Stitchbury, though, absolutely fantastic job from him. And you come into the league already putting a marker down of where he wants to be. Mark Thomas in P3, and Matthew Hyland, big crash there at the death as well. That's unfortunate, but I think that was definitely, I think that might not have been over the line. I don't think that's over the, yeah, I'm not sure where the line is here at this track. I thought it was a bit further up, but it looks like it's earlier, so where the RedBull banner is, I believe, but yeah, that's that.
It's where Barney's waving the flag.
Yeah. Matthew Hyland, though, takes the win in the Pro-Am category, and it's going to be Chris Keenan taking another win in the Am category as well. That's hard done on Mark Robinson there. He was in the top 5, 6, 7 cars for so long in this race, and still ended up losing out to Chris Keenan there for the Am category result as well. But what fantastic racing we've seen here today. We've seen some absolutely brilliant racing. We've got Paul Cowlishaw getting 18 positions. We've got Rhys Saunders getting 17 here. Ewan Stitchbury gaining 17. Matthew Hyland gaining 9. Danny Switzer, a newcomer to the league as well, is really putting his name in the hat as well. Getting 5 positions off the start of this one as well. And Nicholas Newtonen, the Finn, the only Finn on the grid today, has managed to gain 9 positions. Michael Gow as well. Done a fantastic job today. Did a great result in the first heat. Another great result here in the second one as well. Coming P7 overall. Here are your results, however. It's Rhys Saunders for Team Year 1 at the last season's construction champion. And we've got Ewan private for the privateer team. Hopefully he'll get a teammate before the race team starts proper, and he could definitely challenge for it constructors here as well. Got Matthew Holland for DXT Motorsports. Fantastic drive from him. Absolutely brilliant. Reese Saunders in chat saying, how's your dog? He's very well, thank you. He's on the mend. Thank you very much for asking. He's had his radiotherapy and is looking very bright and sparky these days. Mark Thomas, though, in P3 in class, P4 overall. That's a great result for the Tea and Crumpets team. Danny Switzer, like we said, for the privateer team, great start to his Evolution Sim Racing career. Paul Cowlishaw in the wars once more. Manages to get a decent result. P4 in class, P6 overall. And Michael Gow, P7 overall, P5 in class. Nicholas Newton in P8. Wesley Van Rens in P9. Robin Truswell with a good result there. P10 overall. Decent result in his class. Graham Matthew had a couple of good results last season. P11 here today. James Bostock, the boss of the league, P12. And Wingfei Chan, I had one to forget here in this second heat. Chris Keenan wins the category for the AM class, and then Richard Gregory in P15 behind him. Mark Robinson, P16, all went a bit Pete Tong for him in the end. As we move down the order, we've got Newton there in P17. Rob Mackay in P18. He got spun around there at the end of that race. And Brian Damui for Sequential Sim Sport. Please correct me if I'm saying your name wrong, because it is a hard one to figure out how to pronounce just by reading it. Eric Bowles in P20, and Ashley Brooks started on pole for DXT Motorsports Academy, the number 19 driver, and ended up a lap down in the end. Scott Kostrich, 4 laps down in the end. Jamal Gondua for Simsa Esports, 4 laps down in the end as well. And then we've got a Cyan Sarakar Desla. At one point, he looked rather good in this one, but he ended up 5 laps down. We must have missed what happened to him. And then we've got Hall just below him off screen, 6 laps down. I believe he was saying in the chat, maybe he got contact with somebody that we missed. It's obviously impossible to catch everything in a race as tight as these, but that is us done for this race. And I've got to say there, Biggles, from what we've seen today, we are in for a hell of a championship this season.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely fantastic for sure. We're going to go over some of those replays. We'll see if we get some of those drivers. Definitely, Reese, if you want to come and have a bit of a yarn to us. This is the race start, and this is the reason why Reese was saying in the chat too, that he got damage on the lap 1. This is looking at the race start right now. You can see, once again, didn't look like Reese had a good race launch. And that's something we'd like to talk to him about too, because he always gets that car on pole or a good qualifying performance, and then just can't get it taken off the grid very well. Here it is here. This is the lap 1 incident that you said turned into a bit of a car park. We're watching it about half speed. He managed to get through there, but I wonder if he got contact somewhere else. Elected to jump into the old pit road. And I honestly thought he might have just to do that, just to get away from all that carnage, so that you can just get back out on track there and put those banker laps in that, he's very capable of doing. But no, it was due to a just watch this at full speed now for a second. If you're hunting some of those drivers down to have a bit of a yarn to us, and could it be here where he gets a little bit of punteroo? Could be. I mean, just about everybody has that little bit of front end damage, a bit of bumper damage.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting opening lap there, as you saw almost 3 wide and through turns 1 and 2. Obviously, that always comes with its risks, and a few people fell foul of those risks. We saw lots of overtakes in the early stages. Look at this, 2 Ferraris going either side of this Porsche there. Gets a bit of a bump, gets another bump as well. Ooh. That's got to be scary. That's a real Cole Brown moment. Paul Cowlishaw gets past the Porsche as well. See that Porsche there just dropping the order there. I'm not sure who it is.
That was a double move there from Maurice. It kind of looked like he was... Yeah, it's interesting to say. Move back on there.
Double moves always a bit tricky to get going, but we do have somebody ready and waiting for an interview, so we'll bring Matthew Hoyland in first of all for his interview. Matthew, absolutely fantastic results there in this promo race. You've got to be very pleased with how you've done today.
Yeah, I got a lot more out of that than I expected to be perfectly honest. I'm still pretty new to all the iRacing stuff, especially the GT3s, but that was a lot of fun today. Like, I got stuck in with a lot of guys that I didn't think I was going to be anywhere near, so yeah, I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, you've got to be, really. I mean, a win in the second race as well. That's putting down an early marker for the season championship. What do you think your chances are in the championship? And have you, has anybody caught your eye yet? Is that you're thinking, they're going to be a bit of a rival? Their pace is similar.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit early for me to say I'm hoping I'll be up there battling. I mean, obviously everyone wants to be battling, but I think the biggest thing for me is going to be whether I can keep it going. Like I know every now and again I'm going to be up there, but trying to consistently do that is obviously a big part of the fight. I forgot his name now. There was a guy behind me in class most of the race, just before the pit stops and then towards the end, and his pace looked very similar. So I think there's probably going to be some fights there. And I also did have a pretty good battle with James Bostock in the first race as well. So yeah, I think there's some fun to be had. I think it's going to be really close, especially in Pro-Am.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like we've got a very good grid. Lots of drivers signing up, 60 in total. A great turnout for this season. Hopefully it continues as the season goes on. We had a very big fan there in the chat. I don't know if you know who it is, but we've got a DXTV live absolutely screaming your name throughout the race there. Anything you want to say to them?
I mean, I won't say anything too much because it'll be derogatory, but yeah, Hobo, the guy in the chat, basically obviously our teams are the DXT teams, so there's myself and Rob Mackay in one, and then Ashley and Alex in the other. So Hobo, as his nickname, is the founder of DXT. So that's why he's such a big fan of us, because it's literally something he started. But yeah, we appreciate his support as always. He's always there cheering us on.
Great to hear. That'll be it from us. Thank you very much for taking the time to come into the booth, and I wish you the best of luck in the season as it starts next week.
No worries, appreciate it.
Have a good night. We've got Michael Gow also coming into the interview booth here for an interview. Brilliant first race there, Michael. It didn't go quite so well in the second. What went wrong in the second one, do you think?
Hello, yes. Yeah, well, I got caught up in an accident in a second to start with, so I had to use my fast repair, so I pitted on the second lap. I don't know what happened. I got a new pit helper the other day, which one of my teammates said was awesome, which decided to put nearly 30 litres extra in my car in the pits, and I didn't realise that it was too late.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, definitely. Is this a crew chief or a different third-party program that just manages your fuel for you?
It was, what was it now? It was Race Labs, so I don't think I've quite got it dialed in yet. I'm going to have a word with him and get it sorted out. Whether or not it will sabotage for me, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, a possibility for sure, yeah. But you can never. Who can you trust these days, eh, Michael? But definitely good signs there, especially in that first race. The heat, he did very well, absolutely dominated, and you must have been an absolute. It must have been like Christmas when you saw the two guys behind you take each other out, Rhys Saunders and Paul Cowdershaw, colliding and collecting each other into turn 4. Did you notice that happening in real time?
Yeah, I did. And like you said, I was very happy. They were both definitely a lot quicker than me today. So just trying to do my best to defend and keep them behind me for as long as I possibly could. Said 10 minutes left. I thought I'm never going to keep them behind me for 10 minutes. And then I saw them wipe each other out, and I was celebrating. I was celebrating that much that I nearly finished the race a lap early. I slowed down thinking the race was finished.
That's definitely not what you want to do, but got to say that's putting down a marker for your chances in the championship. How do you feel about those chances? You've obviously got some stiff competition. Rhys Saunders did an absolute fantastic job in this league last season, and he is definitely rapid. How do you feel about your chances in the championship? What is it? What do you need to do to kind of maximise those chances?
I'm just going to take it race by race, step by step. We'll just consistency. I think that's the key. You would just literally try, but there are, like you said, there are quite a few quick guys in here, and they also seem to be quite safe as well. Even the lower guys seem quite safe. They know when to get out of the way and when not to get out of the way. So it seems pretty good up till now. I know we've only had one race, but I'm happy. Seems happy. We'll just take it race by race and build up, see where we can get.
Fantastic stuff. Well, thank you very much for your time. We'll let you go off and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the broadcast. Looks good.
Thank you. So there we have it. Great to see drivers coming in for interviews. Please, guys, don't be shy with the interviews. Get in there immediately. We love to talk to you guys. It gives us better insight at the race. We can't catch everything. We like to see your points of view. But there we have it, Biggles. A promo race down. We've got Brands Hatch next week. And if last season's Brands Hatch race is anything to go by, it is going to be a doozy.
Should be an absolute cracker. This is the, and just speaking to Michael there before, that's the Heat 1 results as he was the winner of that there for the AKM Racing UK team, the BMW. Good to see a different choice of cars once again that we have this season. See, sorry, there a second. I just had a little bit of something in my throat, but seeing how these cars are going to pan out and how they get used to them. Once again, it's been a promo race, and we'll show you the feature results up there on your screen right now in case you just missed it. And Reece Saunders of that fantastic comeback from lap 1, pit stopping and slicing and dicing away through the field. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much a last to first challenge, that one, really, wasn't it? Brilliant.
There's the details, of course, for the season as you got next week coming up. We're going to go through that. Brands Hatch. Spa Le Mans, 1 hour night race. Always interesting night races. It makes it almost impossible for us up here to even see what cars are what with the liveries. But
yeah, it definitely doesn't make our job any easier. But what a calendar they've got here for this one. It's voted by the drivers. 5 of these tracks are picked by the drivers' votes, 3 by the admin team. And what a season it's going to be. There's some great tracks involved here. All fantastic race tracks as well. Brands Hatch may be the hardest one to overtake at. But that in itself creates its own challenges and drama and incidents as well. But we shall wrap it up there. It's been a very enjoyable race. DXT Live, just before we go there, says, great stream, lads. Amazing footage. Thank you very much. I do apologise for the little technical issues that we had at the start. We will definitely be working on that before the season starts proper. Get everything in, all our ducks in a row and in order. Thank you very much for watching. It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Biggles. It's been a pleasure.